In today's gospel, the apostles make a plea to the Lord: increase our faith. How can we have our faith, our trust in God grow, increase? I find it interesting that Jesus doesn't tell them to daily pray all 150 Psalms, get on a program to read the entire Bible, study theology for 4 years, make a sizable donation to the diocesan annual appeal, or the We Are Building Our Future Together capital campaign. Jesus knows that faith cannot be increased by earning it, what we do or what we give. Instead of telling them how to increase their faith, he tells them what the power of faith can accomplish. And he says, if you have the faith, just as small a size as a mustard seed, you will be able to say to this mulberry tree with its known complex root system, be uprooted and cast into the sea. And it would happen for you. In other words, Jesus is saying, with just a little sincere trust in God, you will be able to accomplish things that you never could before, complex things that make life complicated. And when we hear this, it's like, wow, I wish I had that kind of faith. And that ultimately is the secret to increasing our faith. The secret is not so much what we do, but to recognize it's not something we can earn, it's a gift from God. To have our faith increased. And so all we can really do is desire it more. And so Jesus tells us what pure faith can accomplish, that we would begin desiring it more and more. I mean, not very many people are going to desire faith in God if they don't know what it's going to do for them. Well, you're just supposed to. Okay. But faith is meant to be a trusting relationship that God will provide. He will help me through this problem. You're just supposed to. So I want to see. I want to know that it can do something. It can. Well, then that's the kind of faith that I want. But then Jesus tells a parable about the servant who's working out in the field. And then he comes back to the master's house. He worked all day long. Like, okay, time to relax, right? No, I need you to make a meal for me. Really? And then when that meal's done, expecting compliments or rest, I'm just supposed to say, I'm a useless servant, unprofitable, just doing what I'm commanded to do. That is a rather humble attitude. Why does Jesus tell us this? Perhaps after telling the apostles of what the power of a little faith can accomplish, that they might be tempted to think, I'd love to have that power, particularly when they see him performing miracles. Like, that would be great if I could do that. And we might even be tempted ourselves to say, I'll put my faith in you. If you make my life easy and I start feeling fulfilled and meaningful, that would be great for me. It's like faith, trusting in God, being able to handle complex and complicated issues is meant to be lived in service to God and his people. And when we've accomplished those amazing things, to go back to the Lord and then do more for him and more for him and more for him. Imagine you woke up this morning and to your surprise, you didn't have your trees in your yard anymore. You looked over at your neighbors' yards and they didn't have any trees. And you're driving to church and like, where'd all the trees in La Crosse go? And you come to church and I say, I did it. I received the gift of pure faith the size of a mustard seed. And meditating on this gospel, I walked outside and I said to that maple tree, be uprooted and thrown in the Mississippi. And it happened. So I went to the next tree, be uprooted in the Mississippi, and it happened. And then I went to the next tree, and then I was up all night. It was a blast. Well, then you would see that there was some way in which I was using this for myself. If we want our faith to be increased, we don't try to earn it. We just desire it because it's a gift from God. And pure faith is known not because in some way it enriches myself, but rather when it's lived in humble service to one another.